Good evening, I'm Adam Bryce. I'm a dramatic tenor and I'd like to present this demonstration video as a few key tips about singing tenor, especially singing heavy tenor. I'm going to start by giving a few ideas about the Passagio. Too often the mistake tenors make is they go for a sound that's too high. By that I mean that the ideal sound in that zona di passaggio should be a combination of chest and head voice and retain some of the darkness from the chest. In fact, when I was learning the art of the Passagio, some of my teachers would tell me to do that to remind me to bring in some depth of sound. So I'll just demonstrate. So this is a C, E, and G. So just then I covered the 5 vowels, and as I was doing it, I tried to bring in that darkness of chest voice that's often so missing when people are starting out to learn. Another important point in the Passagio area and in other operatic vowels in general is this idea that we are narrowing the vowel or closing the sound, and in the case of A, O, and E, the way we do that is we try and bring those vowels closer to the U sound. Well, I basically did exactly what I did before, but I'm just trying to show you that those vowels are not but instead they have that narrowness. Now I'm going to demonstrate some of the mistakes that various tenors or others might make, which is something like this. So in those two demonstrations, it was a very wide tone that was gripping my throat because I was going for that open sound. Dare I say, that was a sound that Di Stefano in his later years would make, but it didn't do his voice much good. So the idea is we want that narrowness. I'll go over one other common mistake, which is along the lines of what I was saying before, that an inexperienced tenor might not sing with enough depth and go for a high trebly sound, which doesn't do much good and in fact heightens the larynx. So I'll just demonstrate. So those sounds, they may have been closed, but they're incorrect because they are lacking that depth, that beautiful blend of chest and voice, chest and head voice. So now I've covered some key principles about the Passagio. I've said don't widen the vowels, use the chest voice, and have that lovely closed sound that also has a lot of beauty and doesn't grip the throat. So now I want to shift the lesson to talk about the tenor's top C and a few very important principles. I want to talk about the phrase La Speranza from Che gelida manina from La Boheme. The lead up to the high C goes something like this. So on the two first notes, which is an F and G, we have to have a certain darkness of tone in that sound. The darkness of tone and the narrowness of tone will enable our larynx to be in that beautifully low position, so that the A flat and the C will just easily present itself in the head voice. And now I'll demonstrate. So perhaps that may have sounded overwhelming, I don't know, maybe not, but to deliver that A flat and top C, there was a lot of strategic work that went into the two preceding notes, the F and G. I tried to darken the F and G to use the head and chest voice, and the La, I tried to narrow those two up vowel tones so that by the time I was at the A flat and C, the larynx was already settled in that lower position. If I made mistakes, like on the F and G, I sang a very trebly high sound that was too pingy, my larynx would have rose and I couldn't have gone up further. If I'd widened the up vowel on the F and G, the same thing, I would have gripped too much with my throat and possibly sang out of tune. So in this demonstration clip, I've covered two critical points which I would naturally cover in my lessons, which is the idea of narrowing the vowels, having that lovely dark chest resonance in the middle of the voice, so that the top is just open and flowing and easy. So thank you very much for listening to that demonstration. For further information, I can be contacted, and the details are all on my website. Thank you very much.